Hey, everybody, welcome to my second podcast. The first one I actually did was actually, I think, almost a year ago, but today's a special one because I have a very special person, Nila. Welcome, Nila. Can you hear me
Hi,
okay?
Roger.
Hi,
Hi,
how's it going?
Roger. Good,
She's
good.
all the she's all the way from Adelaide, South Australia, right? Or is it
South
Southern Australia?
Australia, yes. Yeah, South
Okay.
Australia.
And I'm all the way here in Toronto, Canada. So she is way out there on the other side. But I did happen to speak with her, I think it was about 3 weeks or maybe a month ago, around
Yeah.
there. And Neela reached out to me and she said, I have a story. I would like to talk to you about it. And so we spoke on the phone, and I learned a lot from her and what she went through. So I was like, let's do a podcast because I know there are going to be a lot of people that are probably in the same situation as Neela. Well, she's actually overcome this long journey of hers because it did happen to you since you were a child, right?
Yeah.
So, and I really believe that, with her sharing her experience with you, you'll be able to learn something because you may feel stuck or you may feel like you want to reach out to someone, but you don't know who to reach out to. So if you listen to her story, and then hopefully what you hear today, it will be able to help you and give you a little bit of hope and help you through your journey. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Neela, for everyone that doesn't know you?
No one knows me anyway, Roger.
Well, they will now. They will now.
Yeah. Um, I'm originally from Indonesia.
Okay.
So now I live in Australia from 2003. So it's about 21 years now I'm in Australia. So
Hmm.
my background is Indonesia. Probably people who doesn't know about Indonesia. Indonesia have a lot of culture, a
Yeah.
lot of ethnic groups,
Hmm.
and my parents is come to from very different ethnic groups, which is my mother from North Sumatra, which is a very straightforward and direct person, while my dad is from Central Java, which is very soft spoken, very humble, very polite, and things like that. So I grew up in the two different culture.
Right. So
Yeah,
they're basically like opposite from each other, right?
opposite. Yes,
Opposites.
opposite.
So do you
Yeah,
think opposite attract? What they say? Opposites attract.
probably because my mom is always go 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 go, and my mother
Yeah.
okay, let's do
Okay,
this.
okay. So it kind
Yeah,
of worked out, right?
yes, yes,
It worked out. Oh,
yeah.
okay. So yeah, so you were telling me how it all started back when you were a child.
Child,
When did
yeah.
you realize that there was something not right, like as you were growing up?
And, well, since I was little, I think in a primary, when I started to feel that I treated differently, especially by my mother. I'm sorry, mom, rest in peace. Um, yeah, because in her culture, a boy or a son is way more important than a girl.
I think
So
it's like that in a lot of cultures as well, right?
yes, but
Hmm.
this is very shown off, Like my brother wants a mom, I want a new shoes, and she's gonna straight away, he's gonna straight away get it.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go. But even when I ask, Mom, my shoes is broken, I want a
Yeah.
new shoes. Yeah, later on, just
Hmm.
things like that. So everything my brother has to be the preference. He has to come first. Whatever it is, he come first.
And he's your younger
And
brother, right?
yes, younger brother. So it's continue on until we are growing up.
Hmm.
It's it's building up. When I was little, I don't dare to argue with my
Of
parents
course.
because
Yeah.
in Indonesia, especially what your parents says, you have to follow.
Hmm.
So I don't I don't dare to just open my mouth. So I
Yeah.
just going on with that until I think probably year 7 when I start, you know, having a lot of more friends than when I was in a primary.
Hmm.
So with the way of thinking with so different, friends from different background, how their parent raised them, I started to have um, the willingness just to, you know, being a rebel
Yeah.
that I have to say something. I have to say something. But not until I'm in the high school, then I can say something to my parents. Look, this is not right. Why? My always question, why?
Who did you
Why
approach
this?
first? Was it your mom and dad, or was it like were
I
you like,
asked,
okay, I'll talk.
yeah, I asked my mom, my dad first because
Yeah, I
I'm
knew
very
it.
close. Yeah, I'm very close with my dad.
Yeah. You'll go for the easy one first, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm very close with my dad, so I approached my dad, but my dad says, "No, no, no one treated you that way." And I said,
Hmm.
"No, don't lie to me. I can feel it. It's been like how many years now?" And my dad said, "No, no, no. You don't think like that. Your mom is just like being your mom, but no, it can't be continue like this." And I started to what you call it, have the hate uh, towards my mom.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, right, whatever she says, I said, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Just ignore. But then again, you know, time goes by like that. Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prove myself that if I'm being a successful in study, they're gonna be proud of me, or she's gonna be proud of me. So I study hard, and then I become a very good student, to be honest. And when I finally finished my high school, I came the third on the whole school, and I got the scholarship. But what did I get? Nothing,
Hmm.
nothing.
You were
And
expecting some sort of praise,
some
right?
sort of, yeah, praise or something. It's just my dad. Oh, that's good. But there is none whatsoever coming from my mom.
Yeah.
So I study outside Jakarta. I live in Jakarta. So I
Hmm.
study outside Jakarta where I get the scholarship from. It's not a scholarship actually. I got the scholarship on a technical uni, but I got also the direct acceptance from the other university, which is 1 hour away from Jakarta, from 1 hour away from my um, city where I live. So I have to um, live in that city where my auntie lives there, but I don't live at that place. I rent a room near the university.
Hmm.
So I'm feeling, oh yeah, I'm free. I'm
Finally.
free. Yeah, finally I'm free. No one tell me nothing. But
Yeah.
yet,
It's still inside.
still in here,
Yeah.
nothing. Nothing that appreciate me whatsoever. So I said, why? Why do I have to do this?
Hmm.
They're still not proud of me. So I just take it easy. I
Hmm.
don't study. I just, yeah, okay, exam, until I fail. At the end of the year, I fail. I
Did you do that on purpose to fail?
actually, on purpose,
Yeah, I thought so.
actually,
To
on
see to see
purpose.
what the reaction would be, right?
Yes, what the reaction would be.
Right.
And when my dad picked me up and then he asked me why, I said, I just can't do it.
Hmm.
I don't, I feel like I want to tell everything to my dad, but I don't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
I intend to hurt my mom, on purpose, but she says, you're not that smart enough to be there.
Mm.
Oh, okay. So then my dad says, I still want you to continue your study. What study you want to take now? So I'm thinking at that time, I'd rather study something which is I can get a job quickly. At that year was hotel industry was booming in
Hmm.
Jakarta. So I thought, I'll take the hotel academy. That would be nice.
Hmm.
So as soon as I finish in 3 years, I can get a job. But at in Indonesia, working in a hotel is always a bad, you
Because
know, yeah, because of, working in the hotel is always related with that bad thing like prostitution, this and that. So yeah,
so it's kind of like a bad name,
bad
like,
name. Yes,
right? If you're working at a hotel, because the first thing they think about is prostitution, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's this old-fashioned people
Yeah.
thinking.
Hmm.
And other things that I want to do is either a hotelier or I become a secretary.
Yeah.
Secretary also have a bad name, which
What
is
has a good name besides a doctor and a lawyer,
yes, yes,
right?
that kind of thing. And there
Hmm.
is no degree. There is no degree on that. Like
Right.
hotelier is only diploma three as well as the secretary.
Hmm.
So I said, no, I don't care about degree. I just want to get a job as soon as I finish my study. Because looking at my cousins or my other family who has a degree, they're still, you know, hard to find a job. So why do I have to follow their steps? I just want my freedom. I just
Hmm.
want my freedom. Because in Indonesia, you don't leave the house until you get married. Not like in here. I mean, in Australia or probably in Canada as well. When you're 16 or 17 or 18, you can go out from the house. In
Hmm.
Indonesia, you can't.
Until you
Not
get married.
until
If you're
yeah,
a
until
woman.
you get married. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
a man, also the same because my brother lived in the house until he got married.
Oh, okay,
The
gotcha.
thing is because first it's not easy to get a job like in Indonesia. Like
Hmm.
in here, after you're in high school, you can get a job somewhere, then you can earn some money. Over there, if you don't have a degree, it's very hard to find a job
Hmm.
unless it's just like a lower job. But the pay, I mean, like the salary is not as like in here you have what you call it. There is based on each level, how
You're
much
talking
is
about
your salary?
Australia? You're talking about
Pardon?
the difference. You're talking about Australia, like the difference between
Yeah,
Australia and
Australia.
Indonesia, right?
Yeah, yeah. You have a certain, you know, like your position is this. This is your
Right,
salary.
exactly.
Yeah, you're in Indonesia. You're not like that. If you're in
Hmm.
the high school, the salary is very low.
Hmm.
So that's why I said when I want go back to when I want to study the hotelier, my mom says, whatever. But my dad is more concerned. But I said, look, do you trust me?
Hmm.
Yeah, trust you. Okay, you trust me. Let me prove myself. So I'm more in discuss this with my dad compared to my mom because of that kind of things. And then,
Well, he's definitely
especially
easier to talk to. Your dad is
easier
definitely
to
easier to
talk
talk to.
to. And then
Right.
because my mom is always talking, if talking to me is always, downgrade me.
Yep.
For example, when I have a boyfriend and then uh, I, as a child, it's easier to talk to a mom about boyfriend and stuff because my dad is a bit strict with boyfriend.
Okay.
When I said that to my mom, does he know how you look like? That's the question.
Oh my gosh. Were you like
Oh,
shocked? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you
of
just said that,
yes,
right?
and then I can't believe it. I know I'm not that pretty, but I'm not that ugly either. Uh, oh my
Oh,
god!
and plus you have a beautiful heart. I have a beautiful heart.
So, and I said, of course, he is in the same school with me. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, whatever. Okay, until it, I I study. I study. I don't care about boyfriend, whatever, because I just don't want to get that kind of statement again. What I'm
Mhm. Were
trying
you
to do is,
studying were you studying in Australia? Are you an Australian
no,
right?
in Jakarta, in
Oh, you're in,
Jakarta.
okay, so you're still in Jakarta. Okay, you're still there.
Still in Jakarta, yeah.
Okay.
So I study. I finished 3 years, and then I straight away get a job offer. Soon as I finish, I got a job offer,
Hmm. And you're
which is
probably like,
at,
oh my gosh, your parents are gonna be so happy.
yes. I said, wow, geez, I got a job. So they must be happy and then proud of me. And what is the job for? As a guest relation officer. It's in a small hotel. It's a family hotel. It's 3-star hotel. But I'm happy because I just finished. I just graduated and then I got a job.
Hmm.
And my dad was happy. Oh, that's good. So you don't have to wait for so long to get a job. And then when people ask my mom, she just worked in a small hotel, just as a guest relation.
Hmm.
So there is no um, pride from her about me and
Hmm.
what she can do. Just, you, how can, because I'm a bit, I'm not, not that time, still chunky right now. I mean, like that time, I'm chunky, and if you too big like that, who gonna who gonna like you? And then how on earth in the hotel you become a guest relation? You are you will be in the front of the hotel like that.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to do my diet and everything, whatever. If you know what I mean, if like I, my son is not like my son now is oversized, and then I said, look, it's not good for your health. But not I'm not only saying it, but I'm also trying to help him to watch his diet. In here, they're just telling me, but I don't have any guidance. What do I have to do?
Hmm. Figure out
So
everything
what?
on your own
Yeah, I'll do it.
with no
I
guidance.
try my best. Whatever I know, I'm trying to do it. Fasting, this and that, not to eat too much sugar, not to do this, not exercise. Nothing is help.
Were you doing this because of your mom, or were you doing this for yourself?
Because of my mom saying that who gonna accept you
Hmm.
in the hotel, but then I get the job in the hotel, so I'm very proud. But there is not like, oh yeah, finally you got a job or something. But yeah, but still, how can you improve yourself into a bigger hotel if you like this? And I'm
Hmm.
thinking, hello, I speak 2 languages. Excuse me.
Hmm.
And even the general manager is proud of me whenever I have the French speaking people coming in and hi, hey, Nila, come here, you deal with them. That kind of thing is just like I have a very low self esteem because of this is my mom saying that to me.
Yep.
It's just like I'm nothing. I try to prove myself to her that look, here I am. I'm already at this stage, which is I'm trying to prove myself, but not. Even though when I was promoted to work with the foreigner, which is this small hotel has the joint venture to have a management office. They work with a Belgian and an American. The American manager likes me and then says that, look, I want her because she speaks good English. She speaks French as well. So the Belgians speak French.
Mm-hmm.
So they like me. So they took me to the different office, even though it's still in that hotel management, but it's in the different office. And then my salary is three times. Then I work as the in the hotel. In the hotel, my last position was duty manager. That's
Right.
in only like 1.5 years. I moved up from guest relation to telephone operator. Start from telephone or guest relation, reception, and then secretary of the manager the unit manager, and then finally as a duty manager. So it's in 1.5 years I can step up like that, but I don't I don't receive anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't receive anything from my mom.
Did you already feel that you weren't going to expect anything from your mom anyways, but it would have been nice if she
Yeah,
were to at least pat you on the back and say, good job. Like, I
yes,
bet you, like, if you were just to hear her say that to you, like, good job. I mean, you probably would have cried your eyes out because it's like you've been waiting
yes.
forever for one good thing out of her
One
mouth,
good
right?
thing. So whenever I hear my friend, oh, I went shopping with my mom yesterday, brother. I never had that experience.
Hmm.
I never have that experience whatsoever. Well, I'll try to be nice to her. I mean, like every month, I said, let's go shopping, grocery shopping, because I do the grocery shopping for the family since I
Hmm.
got the job. So, but yeah, we go, do grocery shopping, but and that's it. No heart to heart talking. You know what I mean,
Hmm.
Roger?
Yeah, yeah.
No heart to heart, not like other people. Hey, mom, look, I have a problem like this. Not never.
Not even when you were a child.
Not even when I'm a child.
Wow. But then with your brother, it's a completely different story, right? The
Different
relationship
story.
between, right?
Yes,
It's like,
different story.
am I even a part of this family, right? Like, am I actually your daughter,
Yes,
right?
that question. I have that
Am I
question
adopted?
too. Yes, I asked that. I asked
Yeah.
my dad, "What are you talking about?" Because look how different I am, how different treatment that I receive. I
Hmm.
one one time after that I have when I work in that hotel, that first hotel, I had a boyfriend, which is
Yeah.
he lives in Sydney. He lives in Sydney, and then I live in Jakarta. He used to work in that hotel, but he moved to Sydney.
Oh, he moved to Australia, right?
Yeah, he moved to Australia. So
Hmm.
we have this long distance relationship. The same thing. Have you met him? Did
Your
he
mom said that.
knows? Yeah. Did he knows you? How you look like? I said yes. I said
Yeah.
he knows me. He know how I look like, and he still love me. I said, oh yeah, okay. But different with my dad. My dad always look. This is a long distance relationship. What you have to do, what do you want to do? You have to do this, you have to do that. So he gave me
At least he gave you
guidance,
advice. Yeah, at least he gave
give
you
me
advice,
advice. Yes,
right?
until I got engaged with this guy.
Hmm. And how did your
Got
mom
engaged.
react to that?
Yeah, my mom reacting with that. You seriously want to get married with this guy, but how are you gonna? Where do you gonna live? I said, well, I'm gonna live in Australia. I said, I'm gonna go with him. At that time, I already moved to a international change hotel, which is Radisson Hotel. At that time, I'm already in that
Hmm.
hotel, so I can always ask my boss whether I can get a job in Australia because I worked very well with that company. And then my bosses, I mean, I have two bosses. One is the CEO, one is the general manager, both trusting me
Hmm.
because when I work, I work, 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 work. I work with all my heart, and then everything that I've done, it has to be. I'm a bit like it's not so perfectionist like that, but everything what I'm doing has to be a good result.
Hmm.
I don't like to work half
That's a
half.
good mindset. That's a definitely good mindset.
So within that, I got the engagement on May, I think, and then but December I went to Australia to discuss with him furthermore what we want to do because we want to get married on the next day, next year.
Hmm.
But then I found out that he cheated on me. So he has another woman.
Wait, did you
So
find out, or did he tell you that
I
he was with another
I
woman?
found out by asking his friends because
Oh,
when I come, the treatment is so different,
yeah.
so different, and
So
must be something wrong,
you knew there was something wrong.
something wrong. Yeah. So I supposed to be 1 month in there. I shorten it. I become 2 weeks because I don't like the environment. So I come home to Jakarta. A week after that, he admitted. I tried to ask him. So before we go further, if you want to break up this engagement, do it now.
Hmm.
I don't want to waste my time. I said,
How long were you guys together before
oh,
you were engaged?
7 years.
7 years? Wow, that's long.
That's all. And then it hurt. It hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
It hurt.
How long of that relationship was actually a long distance relationship? Was it like
Yeah, that long.
7 year
Because
long term relationship?
yes,
Oh my gosh. And then to find out that he's cheating on you, I
yeah,
mean that's already a lot to take in, you know.
yeah. And what I got is instead of, well, probably it doesn't mean for you. You're gonna get someone better. I told you, right?
That's your mom, right?
Mm,
Hmm.
that's no good. Blah 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 blah.
So that must have
And
made you feel like you dropped like so many levels because you're kind of telling yourself, "Oh my gosh, my mom was right." And now it's like she's like everything she says, I'm always going to think that she's right.
yeah,
Like it must have felt like, "Oh my gosh, I've worked this hard to prove her wrong, and now it's
and now
backfired on me."
yes,
Right? So you must have felt so horrible at that moment at that moment, right?
I hit rock bottom,
Yeah, I
and
can imagine that.
a month later, my brother says I'm getting married.
Right, like after a month right after you
I'm
broke your engagement.
Yes, I'm getting married. And
Hmm.
in Indonesia, as a girl, you know, your brother want to get married first, so it's just like jumping over you. It's like a bad thing or a sin.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it's not like asking permission first, like, hey, I know you still hurt, but because you don't know when you're going to get married or when you're going to be in that situation again to have a boyfriend or whatever, can I go first?
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever like that. It's just like I'm getting married next month. So behind my back, actually, they already prepared this straight away. When I broke this engagement, they worked all those things straight away.
Who are you talking about? Your brother, mother, and
My
father?
brother and mother, yeah.
Oh, your brother and mother. Okay.
Mm,
Without telling you a single word about what's going on.
no,
Mm,
it hurts.
for sure. For sure.
it hurts. I have an auntie, which is I always, you know, talk to about if I feel down like that. I have an auntie to talk to, but she lives a bit far away from on the different city, so in the different how you call it, it's just like different states
Hmm.
in Indonesia, different province, I should say. And she talked to my mom because she is the sister of my mom. She talks to my mom, said, "Look, in the tradition, you can't just do that. He has to ask her permission because she is older than him.
Hmm.
He would like to jump over her, so he has to ask permission." Anyway, my mom says, it's just like the time, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, it's not going to happen again, rah, 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 rah. But lucky my auntie is very, very strict and then very, you know, frontal if she's talking. And finally, they do like a ceremony for, they ask me whether I allow my brother to get married first. But what should I say? Everything has been said.
Yeah.
Apart from saying, yeah, go ahead.
Hmm.
This family, I mean, like my brother's wife has, I think, 6 or 7 brothers and sisters.
Oh, she has a big family.
Big family. So when do the wedding photo, the parents remember, hey, where is this? Where is it? And when doing wedding photo of my family, no one called me.
Wow. That's when you're still like, am I part? Am I part of this family?
Expect
You're still asking yourself that.
I'm still
Okay.
asking
Oh
myself,
my
am I
gosh.
part of the family?
Yeah.
Hello?
How was your relationship with your brother, anyways? Like,
Not good.
not good at all. Ever since you
Not
were a child, right?
ever since my child. Not good. Even
Okay.
though, even though it's not as it's turned really bad after he get married actually,
Hmm.
because when we still in the same live in the same house, he's still at the uni at that time. I already work, and then when he needs new clothes, he need perfume. I bought everything, whatever you want,
Hmm.
whatever he wants, I get it for him. It's because I want to show him, even though my mom treat us differently, I'm still treating my brother as my brother, even though we fight sometimes a lot. But that doesn't help.
Hmm.
That doesn't help. It's just like it's your obligation as a big sister to provide to your brother. But anyway, after he got married, he moved out in different house. Here I'm alone in the house. And when my dad start to get sick,
Hmm.
he got diabetic, and then he's really ill. Actually, he doesn't want to be taken to the hospital, but when he's really ill, I said, no, that cannot be like this. Took him to the hospital and then diagnosed as a diabetic. So I think 1 or 2 weeks in the hospital. He come home, he's getting better, but he has
Hmm.
to do a surgery to remove the stones in here in her kidney.
Hmm.
So in his kidney. So yeah, he went home for about 2 weeks and then he has to go back to the hospital. But in the hospital, he's not getting better because before to do the surgery, he has to stabilize his diabetic first, right?
Yeah.
The sugar level, but it's not happening. So it's going downhill until that night before I went home after being the whole day in the hospital because my mom never got gone home since my dad in the hospital. So she always stays. in the hospital.
Oh, she was there with him the whole time.
She was there the whole time, yes.
Okay.
So the night before I went home, I said to my dad, Dad, I'm going home, but I already have a feeling that he will go
Mm-hmm.
because he keep on saying to me, oh, there is a plane already picking up, waiting for me. Where are you going? I said, oh, I don't know. The plane is waiting.
Really? So he
Hmm.
visualized something, or he had
He
dreams, or
visualized that.
he already visualized it.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
He says the plane is waiting. I said that when you get well, when you getting well, I'm gonna take you for a holiday. We go in a big plane.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we went to Singapore, I ever took my parents to Singapore one time when I was working at the Sheraton Hotel. So I took
Mm-hmm.
them to what you call it to for a holiday to Singapore and Malaysia. So we should do that again then, but this time a little bit further. But I don't think so, he said. And to my auntie, my mom, younger sister, he mentioned that there is a yellow bus full of people waiting for me.
Who said this? Your dad?
My dad.
Oh, your dad. Okay.
Uh, so that's why when I said I had that feeling, and I said, look, Dad, if you can't handle this anymore, if you want to go, just go,
Mm-hmm.
just go. I know it you're in pain. Just go if you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me, what about you? Because it's in Indonesia, if you have a daughter at that age, I was 20. Oh, how old am I? That's 2002. I was born in 27.
Okay.
27 at that time. I haven't got married. It's just like a burden to a parent.
Mm-hmm. Especially
And
knowing that he might be leaving soon,
yes,
and that you weren't able to fulfill that. You wanted to
that
at
wish.
least be
Yeah,
your
yeah.
father. Yeah, exactly. That you were married at least.
So I
But at
said
least you
to
were
my,
successful, but it wasn't complete. Like you were successful with your career, but the other
yeah,
half was, being married or having kids or whatever it may be, just to be like, Dad, I did it. I did it.
yeah. So I haven't fulfilled, completed my duty as a daughter.
Okay.
So I said to that, look, I'll be okay. If you bless me, I will find I will find a
Other half.
husband. Yeah,
The other
my
half.
other half
Yeah.
soon. I said, don't worry about me. I'll be okay. Even though I'm single, I'll be okay.
Hmm.
And the second thing that he asked is, what about your mom? Your brother cannot look after your mom.
Hmm.
I said, actually, it's hard for me to say, um, I look after her because, you know, the hate that I have or the feeling that I never close. So it's just like, I don't feel any relation.
So why should I do this?
Why
Pretty
should
much,
I
right?
do this? But
Yeah.
I do anything for my father. So I said to him, look, Dad, don't worry about her. I will look after her. Are you
Hmm.
sure? Are you sure about this? Yes. I promise you, I will look after her. Okay, he said. You promise? I promise you. Then the next day he passed away.
Wow.
The next day he passed away. And I
Maybe
keep
that's
my
the final. I'm thinking that that's what he really wanted to hear from you. That his wife was going to be taken care by you,
yeah,
and you made that, and you made like a promise, and he probably listened to it and said, she sounds very sincere and I believe in her. So he said, okay, I'm gonna go now,
Yeah. My
right?
dad has always believed in me. I mean, like, without people realizing it, but he always support me from behind.
Mhm.
That's why I'm very
You're very
close with.
fortunate because imagine if both of your parents were like your mom,
Yeah,
how horrible that would have been, right? Because you wouldn't have had that balance. But with your father, you always had that one person to hold your hand in
yeah,
times of need when your mom was never there for you,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So yeah, that's it. I mean, like, I lost half of my life when he passed away,
Hmm.
but I have a promise that I have to look after her. So I'll do that. I'll do everything for her.
So how was your mom after your father passed away?
I mean, she's such a strong woman. I tell you that she's a strong woman,
Really strong,
and
huh?
she's still working. She's still working until, she retired when she was 85.
Wow,
Yes,
that's amazing.
yes. And then when that actually, it is because she already, like, starting to, body start weaken because she fell a lot.
Hmm.
And the she was at the university, so the uni afraid that why they still um have 85-year-old woman working in there, even though they need her knowledge, but
Hmm.
they don't want to be, get charged on anything,
Responsible.
yeah,
Yeah.
responsible of anything like that. So when she's retired, that she start going downhill because she thinks that she doesn't need it anymore.
Hmm.
So she started going. I was already married at that time because it was what? Yeah, I already married at that when she's 85. It's 5 years ago. So,
So how was she when you were telling her that you were going to get married again? Was
oh
she like
yeah, the same question,
the
Roger.
same question? Did he look at you? Does he
Yeah,
know you?
does he know you? Because my husband live in Australia, right? Because
Yeah.
he lives
This is
in
another person who's from Australia as well, right?
Australia. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a foreign. I should say he's a white man because my previous one, my fiance was Indonesian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's an Englishman living in Australia, not
I see.
Englishman living in New York.
Yeah.
So he when he approached me and then he wrote a letter to my mom asking that, look, I want to marry your daughter, blah blah blah. When my mom's sick, he sent us flower and stuff like that. And when he proposed to me, I tell my uncle, which is my mom younger brother. I close with him as well. And then I said to him, look, this guy want to marry me, blah, blah, blah. Can you ask my mom for a permission?
Hmm.
So he came to my house and then talked to my mom. Does he know her? How, how he know her? Because he's in Australia.
Oh man.
And my uncle was angry. He said, look, of course he knows her. Otherwise, he won't propose her.
Oh,
Oh, God.
at least your
And
uncle understood.
yeah, and my mom still says, there are so many million men in Indonesia. Why can't she find one?
Uh-huh.
And I should say, because I work with the foreigner a lot, I work with Australian, Belgian, American, like that. So my
Hmm.
mindset is already like setting up into like um, a bit abroad the way I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Even though
exactly.
since I was little, I also like saying it what I want. So I always the rebel in the family,
Yeah.
even though I'm the ugly duckling of the family. I'm the rebel of the family, and I'm the only one who doesn't have a degree in the uni, but I have a good job. I have a good
Hmm.
position. Well, I
And
don't
you're making
care.
good money.
I make my money, yes. Um, so I said I'm not worried about that kind of thing. I'm very confident about myself that I can do this,
Hmm.
but I have a very low self esteem because of when I have to like I don't like to compete with anyone because just like you know in the family I have with all my cousins. I think that all they are all pretty, and then here I am. I'm scared, to be seen.
Hmm.
But it's different when I'm at work.
You're a totally different person.
Totally different person because I'm at work. I can be very tough. I can be very kind as well to my staff because I
Hmm.
have a very good position.
Yeah. And there's also a respect level as
Respect
well when
level
you're
as
working.
well. Yes,
And you have people praising you for the good work that you're doing.
yes. My boss always praising me. My staff always praising me. So I have that confidence at work, but not in the family. Not in
Yeah.
the family.
Completely different.
Totally different.
Two different sides.
This is my life. So
Uh-huh. Half
that's
of your
why,
life, though, how long have you been in Australia? Like over 20 something years, right?
yes.
So for half of your life, you've lived in Australia,
Yes.
almost, or yeah.
Almost. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, but finally she's agreed for me to get married, and then she says, so where is she gonna live? I'm gonna live with my husband, of course, in Australia. But I don't know. She never says that, like, what about me or whatever, because she knows that she's still working and everything. So she knows that she's a very strong woman. So
Hmm.
I can live by myself. So I have a housemate in there, to look after the house
So
and everything.
you hired a housemate for her
Yes,
because
yes, yes,
your brother has already moved out.
yes.
So
Moved out
basically, she was living alone,
alone. So I have
right?
a maid in there to
Uh-huh.
look after her because she's still working at that time. She's still working
Hmm.
until she was 85, 85, and then when she got retired, forced to be retired,
Right.
because she doesn't want to retire,
Yeah.
and the head of the microbiology at that time rang me and said, look, how can I tell your mom because she needs to stop working because she fell a lot at work, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, let me come home. So I came home, celebrate her 85 birthday, and end that day, like her officers that, look, you need to retire because of, um, we concerned about your health, blah, blah, blah. But to her, it's just like she's being dumb, just like being dumb.
Hmm.
Since then, her condition is going downhill.
Like
She
right after
start
that,
like right after that.
because I think she's thinking, I have nothing
She
to
has
look forward to. She loved her job
nothing
so
to
much.
look forward.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
What am I gonna do?
yeah,
Right? Because she's been working like that every single day. And then
mm,
when someone has that big of a change,
yes,
especially at her age,
yes,
right? It's almost just like, okay, well, what's left for me,
yes,
right? My husband's gone, my son's left, my daughter's living, and I only have a housemate. So,
yes.
it must have been very tough for her too, as well,
Very
right?
tough. And I asked her actually, do you want to live with me in Australia?
Yeah.
Which is something. I when I said that to my husband, are are you thinking that further? Actually, no.
I should at least ask, right?
But to me, rather than she's by herself like that, I
Yeah.
mean, like, I still have like the obligation
Of course.
as a daughter to look after my mother, no
Yes.
matter how
And it was also a promise
relation.
you left for your father.
I promised to my father. After how bad
Yep.
is the relation, I just swallow it.
Yeah.
He says, no. Why should I live with you there? My family all in here, which
Hmm.
is not family. It's my son is in Indonesia, so it's
That's what
not
she
family.
meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's still supporting my brother, even though she's already on the pension age like that. She's still supporting my brother. So every
Hmm.
time my brother needs help financially, she's always provide everything.
Hmm.
So she doesn't care about herself. She's just not like, look, you have the money. Why don't you go on a holiday? Go somewhere you like with your friends. Nah, what for? So she just stay at home. Said, if you want to do the catering again, she used to do a catering, and then she liked baking cookies. So I
Hmm.
said, if you want to do the doing the cookies again, excuse me, I'll get you a new oven. I'll set up a new kitchen for you, whatever you need. I'll do that for you, so you can. I mean, to give her activities at home
Just to keep her occupied
to keep
for something to
occupied.
do.
I said,
Right.
nah, I don't want to. And from
Hmm.
there, she started getting her dementia until one day she fell.
Yeah.
She broke her hips. So,
Ooh.
and that I I knew that she broke her hip is just like after a week she got fall, and then I said to my brother at that time, why don't you take her to the doctor check? And she said she's okay. She's always says she's okay every time after she fell. But and one day she's just in pain. She can't move herself. She's in pain. She's screaming. At
Hmm.
that time, I already have my cousin live with my mom at that time. So she arranged with my brother because I said, take her to hospital. So then they took her to the hospital, got the X-ray and everything. It shows that she got the crack on her ribs, the hips. Sorry. So has to be have a surgery.
Hmm.
The doctor says, Mom doesn't want to do. I don't want that. Well, the doctor says either you sit in the wheelchair forever with the painkiller forever,
Yeah.
or we fix your hips. She doesn't want. So it delays again until a week later
Hmm.
when she just can't move and everything like that. Finally, she agreed to go for a surgery, and then we go on the surgery. I thought that she's going to go on the first surgery because the doctors still have a doubt whether should have the anesthetic for only for the local or
Yeah.
total. But being local, the doctor says no, it's impossible. It has to be under total under, and we have to sign the consent whether she can wake up.
Whether she'll wake up or
Probably
not.
cannot wake up or not. Yes, but we have to try. So my
Yeah, because
brother
she's
over
in
there,
pain, right?
yeah, because she's in pain. So my brother has to sign that because she's there. He's there. I can't
Yeah.
go home because at that time was the COVID 2020.
Oh,
There is
right.
no flight in and out Australia.
Yeah.
No flight. So thank goodness she's recovered. But after that surgery, she's supposed to do the exercise. You know that you have a something strange on your hips. It must be painful, and it even though it says titanium or whatever, it is the highest things that they can put in there, the highest quality they put in there, but still it's a strange thing on your body. It has to
Yeah.
need adjustment. So she
Right.
has to do a treatment, physiotherapy, and this and that. but she doesn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is very stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want to do it. So I have to hire another carer, which is another expense. Her pension is used all for all that, and then it's not enough. So here I am in here. I'm not working anymore. So the way I try to fulfill all those needs to support my mom is that I have to do some catering in here.
Did you
And
quit your job? Did you retire or did you quit your
I
job? Or...
retired. I retired.
Oh, you retired. Okay.
I retired because when we live in Alice Springs before
Yeah.
in Northern Territory. So we moved here in 2016 when my husband retired. And in here, the system is that my husband will not get the pension if I'm working.
Oh, I got you.
So he says that now you don't have to work because we don't need much. We have what we need in here. We have a house. We have a good house. I mean, like my son has this education and stuff like that, um, loan from the government. So we have nothing to worry about. Not until my mom gets sick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I thought, like, well, okay, I can bake, and I can do cakes, cookies, and stuff like that. I can cook. So I start selling. I joined a group which is selling Indonesian food
Mm-hmm.
every week. So
That's
yeah,
great.
so I start selling, but to provide to my mom, which is $1,000 every 2 months, is not easy because my selling is, in that case, I'm selling only every week. If in 2 months I have to provide $1,000, so that means I have to have at least $100 per week.
Right.
Sometimes I didn't reach that much.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is where I start getting hit the rock bottom again. While I'm trying to my best to help my mom, and I cannot go home because of the COVID.
Yeah.
Is the family saying that if I were you and my mom like that, I come home. They're saying I'm just, it's not a good kid lah, not good daughter. I'm selfish and everything. Hello, you don't know what I'm doing in here.
Yeah, you're working your butt off
Uh, uh,
to
yes,
make the money because they can't see that,
they
right?
can't see that.
And on top of that, it's during COVID, so like, how are you going to get there?
I
Like
know.
it's difficult. Difficult. Plus
And
you don't want to also get contaminated as well, right? You could
exactly.
eventually get sick. Hmm.
And and the ticket is expensive if there is any. That's one thing.
Right. Yep.
When you got to Indonesia, you have to be on a quarantine. That's some
Yep.
more money again.
Hmm.
So rather than I spend all those money just for me to get there, and when I get there, what can I do? Can I fix her? Of course I cannot.
Yep.
Rather than going there and then wasting this much money for the ticket and the quarantine, why don't I just send this money to her to support for her medication, her treatment?
Hmm.
But people don't see it that way.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of,
Did they finally get it? Like, did they finally understand what you were trying to say to them?
they, some of them, finally they get it, but some of them is just think what they want to think.
Hmm.
If I can convert this leaf of my avocado tree to become $1, then I can just easily, go home, hire a private jet or whatever. But I can't. I have to. I have to work my butt off for this.
Hmm.
And on top of that, I didn't get help from anyone. There is some people. I mean, like my mom's workplace, old workplace, her friend, or some of my family, putting up some money into my bank account in Indonesia just to help. But I can't depend on them to always help
Yeah.
because that money has to be used, especially when I have a carer. I have to pay my cousin. I have to pay the carer, which is carer is not cheap, which is $450 per month.
Wow.
So those money that come from everyone I use for that, and then I still need for her treatment. She can't because she can't sit down, so she has to be carried with the ambulance if she has to go for a check to the hospital.
Hmm.
The money for the ambulance, even though it's not paid, but because it belongs to a mosque, so they don't charge you, but we have to give like sort of like appreciation to the mosque for
Right.
using the ambo, right?
Yeah.
At least to cover the petrol on and the driver and the other person who helped carry the things in and out the hospital. So it's still money here and there.
Hmm.
And not like in Australia, which is you go to hospital, you don't pay anything. Over there,
Yeah. It's
oh,
obviously different there.
different. Yeah, you
Hmm.
this paid, that paid, a little bit thing. It is money there.
Hmm. So how much
So
longer was it until it was like she was where you felt that it was almost time that she's going to leave?
yeah, I thought that she's gonna leave because when I start coming back to Indonesia when the border is open is 2022.
Okay.
2022, when the border is open, I said to my husband, "Look, I have to go. I have to
Right.
go. I want to see her."
Hmm.
I came that day, that time. She's still able to talk, but she doesn't remember me anymore.
Oh,
She doesn't remember me anymore.
how'd that
I'm
make you
trying.
feel?
I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I feel like, what have I done? I mean, like, I feel like
You felt
you.
responsible?
I feel I'm a useless daughter.
Okay, you're still feeling a little bit like, I'm useless, right? At that point.
Yes,
Even though you tried so hard, even though you knew that you put all this effort in, somehow you still felt like you weren't there when she needed you.
when she need, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Even though I provide everything for her, like they said they need this bicycle to practice this. Go ahead, get it. He need this kind of wheelchair so she can lay down and this and go get it. I just don't care. I just say to my cousin, go get it, whatever it is, go get it.
Hmm.
But when I see her like that, I feel broken. Even though I feel like my relationship is not that good, but no matter what, she's my mom.
She's still your mother.
There is no ex-mom.
Hmm.
It it hurts my feeling, like that. See her like that, and I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can't do anything, and then she doesn't recognize me anymore. She knows that she has two children. She still remember the name,
Hmm. But she couldn't recognize you.
but she couldn't recognize me.
And she couldn't recognize your brother either, right?
That's the funny thing.
She recognized your brother? Really? Wow. Maybe it's because she hasn't seen you in so long.
Probably that's what I always think positive way like that. So since that, I come back to Indonesia every 6 months.
Hmm.
Every 6 months, and when one time when she was going, you know, um, has a very she has a scare, which is like stop breathing and stuff like that. But she still come back,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking, nah, will she survive this time? But yet she still survived.
Well, how old was she now at that time? Like
At that
87?
time, yeah, 87, 88, until 2020, 24, I think.
This year?
This year, yes, February. Yeah, February. I said to my, because she's getting worse, she couldn't remember anything. She doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to talk to anyone, not even to my cousin who looked after her. No voice or no noise whatsoever coming from her mouth.
Wow.
So I said to my family, I think this is the time, because my son hasn't seen her for a while since the COVID. So I said to my husband, let's go, the three of us. So that February this year,
Hmm.
we came we came visit her, and then my son every morning say good morning, and then try to feed my mom, because she's using the tube to eat since she was sick.
Yeah.
So for 3 years she was using that, 4 years until she passed away. And yeah, my son tried to feed her, tried to talk to her, but yeah, it's just like she's there. She's just there, and then looking at that thing, I said, nah, she won't last long. And I'm still thinking she doesn't want to go, because she still think about my brother. Because who gonna help her? Who gonna help him? Sorry,
Yeah,
who,
she's hanging on there.
she's hanging on to that. Who's gonna help him?
Hmm.
Because he depends a lot on my brother depends a lot on my mom.
Hmm.
And finally, I have a friend in Singapore, a good friend. He came because he knows that my mom's sick. He came from Singapore to visit visit her when I was in Jakarta. So he came for 2 nights only, just to see mom. And we have a talk after he saw mom. What do you think that she's hanging on to? I said, probably hanging on because of my brother, because I explained the situation with my brother.
Hmm.
And interesting enough, he says to me, look, since she treated you that way when you were young, what I think was she felt guilty for treating you like that. She wants to say sorry to you, but it doesn't come out from her mouth, because
Hmm.
she probably doesn't know how to start, doesn't know how to say it. It's probably not because your brother, but because of you, especially when she realized that you're the one looking after her, being responsible of everything.
Yep.
Why
Even
don't you
after
think,
all of what
after
went through.
all those things?
Yep.
And I'm start thinking, will she? Because knowing my mom, very stubborn, very hard, will she apologize? Well, I
Hmm.
don't expect her to apologize, but even I never came into my mind that she feel guilty about anything,
Hmm.
until my friend told me that. Have you think about it? No, I never think about it.
Hmm.
But look, change the way you talk to your mom. Don't say that you will help your brother if she's gone, but say to her that you forgive her. If she wants to go, she can go. Think about it. He said, think about it. Do not say it now because I say it to you, but think about it. And I have a thought about it. Will she? Does she feel sorry?
Hmm.
It's just like question because I know my mom. But then again, I have to drop my ego and I said, well, probably. But every morning, I always, wash her. When I wash her, I talk to her. And time for feeding her, I try to feed her. And I talk to her, even though she's just staring at me. And always try to talk to her. And then
But you
one
wouldn't.
day,
She still wouldn't speak, right? She couldn't speak.
no, no,
Okay.
she doesn't speak anymore. So
Hmm.
until one day, it's just a couple of days before I go back home, I said
Yeah.
to her, look, mom, I don't know what's in your mind, but if I may say, you hurt me this far? Yes, but I forgive you. I said, it was very hard to say that. I said to her, but I forgive you. I forgive you, mom. And no matter what, I love you. If anything you want to say, you can say to me now. I'm here. I'm listening. Um, you don't have to apologize to me. I forgive you. If you can't stand being like this anymore, if you're ready to go, just go.
Hmm.
I'll take care of the rest. I'll take care of the rest. She's just looking at me. Just looking at me. Then again, I repeat that again the day before. I mean, like a couple of hours before I leave to the airport. I asked my son and my husband to say goodbye to her. And I came last. I said to mom, I repeat the same thing again. Please forgive me for while I'm being your daughter. I don't. I'm not doing good enough for you, but I'll try my best. And whatever you have done for me, I forgive you. I love you, mom. No matter what, I love you because you're my mom.
Hmm.
And thank you for what I said. Thank you for what you have done to me because it made me this way. I become a strong woman because of what happened in this life. I become a strong woman. It's part of you as well, which is making me the way I am now.
Hmm.
Not a word still, just looking at me. And when I kiss her and then we leave to the airport, it was hard. Even my son crying on the way. I just don't feel right to leave her. But I said, but we have to go back to our life. You still have to go back to uni.
Yeah.
Next time when you're on a semester break, if you want to go, you can go. I said to my son. Yes, we arrived here. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call that she passed.
Hmm.
Just 2 weeks after
You guys
we
returned.
we we, we reached Australia because we went home 1st of March. She passed
Hmm.
away the 14th of March this year.
I think you know what? I think it's very, very important that you were able to get that opportunity to release that from you.
Yeah,
Even though there was just so much with your relationship from childhood to that that day, there was just so much building up. And it was almost like the perfect moment to say it. Even though I think it's probably because she wasn't capable of speaking or maybe reacting to what you were saying
yeah,
to her. But I know that deep inside, she understood what you were saying to her. And I think that it calmed her or it kind of closed the chapter
yeah,
with you and for her as well. Because you know your mom, she has this ego. She's not going to say,
yeah.
oh, she's going to say all these things that you wanted to hear from her,
Mm,
right? But it's just people, you can feel these kind of things and people don't have to say anything,
yeah,
right? Like, you know how when people hug each other, it just feels like they're saying a whole bunch of things to you just from one hug.
yeah,
So, I think it was a really, and I think that advice, it was your uncle that gave you that advice? Was it your
yeah.
uncle that, yeah, I think that was probably one
No,
of the,
my friend,
oh,
my
your
friend from
friend.
Singapore. Yeah, my
That
friend
was
from
probably
Singapore.
like one of the best advice you probably could have ever received because, like, imagine you didn't get a chance to say that before
Yeah,
she passed. Then you'd have probably felt some sort of guilt or even, felt even more terrible.
yeah,
Like you would have told yourself, oh, if I had the chance to tell her that I love her, that I forgive her, and, all these things, the stuff that you said to her, right? So,
yeah,
I think it brought you some inner peace to be
yes,
able to know that. And your story is so amazing because it's like, you know, your mom hurt you so much, but yet, I think what you said at the end where you were like, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for you. Your mom helped you become successful. Help in a very different way than others would,
yeah,
like help their child, right? But it was because of the way she treated you made you want to work harder, made you want to prove to others that you can do these
yeah,
things, that you don't, like you've done so much and you became successful, even though it felt like you had this huge anchor that was pulling you down, but you still saw, the sun, the sky, and you wanted to swim and reach the top to get that
yeah,
breath of fresh air, no matter how hard, how
yeah,
fast you were sinking.
yeah,
Right, and that's a lot of strength, right?
yeah. And then that quote that I read, um, before that I read yours, is just giving me a motivation. But one thing which is bad, which is that I still feel that it's affecting my life, is how I treated my son now, which is that
Mhm.
is another problem. Like, I want him to be successful. So I start from he was little. I'm a bit too hard on him
Yeah.
because have to do this, have to do that. And then my son even joking with me, so, typical Asian mom. I, if I got C, it's not enough. I have to get B. When I got B, it's not enough. I have to get A.
Eh,
Oh, mom! At the beginning, when he's joking like that, I don't think that he has a problem with that. I keep on pushing, 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 pushing until one day I have an argument with him because he likes online game, playing games with his
yeah.
friend. And at that day, I wasn't feel well, and then I shouldn't say anything when I'm not well like that. And I see him playing games since morning. I mean, like, it's his break. I mean, he's in a semester break. I should just let him go, but it's not. I'm giving a blast of a bullet going onto him. Look, instead of this, why don't you just do something? Help me around the house. Blah 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 blah. And when I finished saying that, go 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 go, it just give me headache. I said, then not far after that, he tried to cut himself,
Mhm.
and that wake me up for the second time when my husband
And that was the
came.
first time he did that?
No, the second time I was when he was young, when he's crying like hell that he doesn't want to do anything.
Hmm.
That's because I'm too hard on him. So I was wake up in there. That's my first wake up that you can't force your kid. You can't. You just give him guidance, but don't force.
Hmm.
That's the first wake up. But then again, me being me, I'm afraid that if he didn't get this title, he's gonna be, you know, being embarrassed just like me when I don't have a title. But my family says, "Oh, you're just doing this, yeah. So you don't have a title and that blah 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 blah." But I'm proving it because even though I don't have a title, look, my salary is in dollar. Hello,
Hmm. Yeah.
and I don't want this to happen to my son. And even when he says to me, he asks me, why don't I have a brother or sister, mom? Because I don't want you to be like me.
What do you
If
think about that now? Now, today, right now, like, what do you
today,
think
right
about
now, I feel like I should give him, I should give him a brother or sister. But then again, the second reason was I'm too old at that time because I have him when I was 39.
that? Okay.
So it's too old, too late to get
Hmm.
another one, even though probably still can, but I just don't want to risk
Mm.
anything. And apart from that, God only give me one. That's
Yeah.
so I just have to look after this one.
Yeah.
So when he tried to cut himself, that Roger is just like, I feel like
A big wake up call, like the
wake
biggest
up
wake
call.
up
Yeah,
call.
I'm doing
Yeah.
it wrong.
Yeah.
Especially when my husband said, "This is because of you.
Hmm.
You too hard on him," and then that's it's just like to me, oh my God, what did I do? This is the only one I have.
Yeah.
So I tried to talk to him. I asked for his forgiveness, and then he says, "Mom, it's not your fault. It's my fault because I can't take it out, what's in my chest, to anyone."
Yeah.
Which is, I think that our relationship is quite close. I mean, like my son and I is quite close, but he's getting mature. He's getting
How old is he
to
now?
be. He's 20 now.
Oh, he's 20. Okay.
Yeah, and then it just happened recently, that thing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just a wake up call to me, a big wake up call to me, and I take him. I ask him to see the GP, to the doctor, to discuss with him
Like some
because
sort of therapy?
yeah, we have to see the GP first, and then the GP suggests him to see the psychologist. So he's seeing a psychologist. It's been 4 sessions right now, and
That's
he
good.
he becomes a bit happier, and I see, and I I learned from that looking at him a bit happier, I try to withdraw myself bit by bit, not to interfere.
Not to be always in front of his face and,
Yeah,
like give
yeah,
him a little bit of air, right?
yeah, yeah,
'Cause that's probably felt like he wasn't receiving that,
yeah.
you
So
know.
I do that, and then I discussed this with my sister-in-law, which is my brother-in-law's wife.
Hmm.
She's Italian, and then she's very family oriented as well. So I
Hmm.
talk a lot to her, and then I said,
That's good.
because I can't tell anyone about this probably when people see what you call it, when people see this, probably especially my family, because I didn't tell my family about what happened to my son, so
Hmm.
I don't want
But
him to be
your son knows about like everything that happened to you in your past with your relationship with
yes,
your mother and all that. So he
yes,
knows your background story.
yes,
Um, but it's also like you raising your son. your past has a lot to do with how you're raising your son, right? A lot of the
Yes.
things that you felt like that your mom raised you that you didn't agree with, it
Mm.
affects you, right?
Yeah.
It's affected you your entire life. So
Yes.
it's, you can't blame yourself for any of that
Mm.
because it's with you. But I think it's good that you're realizing that, hey, wait, I got to stop. This is a new chapter of my life, and this is my son, and I don't want to raise him the same way my parents raised me, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
want to exclude him and make him feel that he's not a part of the family, or
Yeah.
all the stuff that you learned that made
Yeah.
you become who you are, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I think we spoke last time about your communication. Your communication level with your son is a lot better now. I think
Yes.
especially after this incident, right?
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
feels that he can talk to you now rather than, hiding a lot of the things,
Hiding. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
And
I
for
will
him,
still get the bully if this has come out. If one of my family saw this, I will get bullied. To be honest, they're
hmm
gonna say, "Why you bring this up? What when your mom already passed away? Why?"
yeah,
I'm gonna get bullied with that. But the reason in here is this: I want to say to people that just do not differentiate between your children. Don't have favoritism
yes,
in
that
the
is that is
family.
that is a very, very, very good advice. And for me and my wife, and we never have any favorites, and we just raise them that way because once you start doing that, you have to remember, like, whoever feels that, oh, well, my mom and dad's favor that, then they're going to do things like maybe what you did. I'm going to go out and
Yeah,
prove to them that I'm the favorite, that I'm the one that needs to have all the attention, and that really affects the way they're going to be when they grow up,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
if you and it's hard, especially when you have a lot of kids, because it's kind of like, but we just treat them as everyone is the same.
yeah,
We like, for me, for example, when I was going through my really dark time, the reason why it kept getting darker and darker for me was because I felt that I was losing my relationship with my kids because I was such a different person at the time,
mm,
and my communication level was like like nothing. Right,
mm,
I stopped talking to them, or they stopped talking to me. So, basically, I had to catch up after I healed myself, I had to catch up. I felt like I missed like 10 years of my life. Right.
oh,
So that's why I spend as much as my time, like, even when they're in their rooms and they're not doing anything, I still open the door and I'm like, hey, how's it going? How's your day? You want to go play a board game? You want to go outside? You want to go to the park? You want to go ride your bike? You want to go shopping? Whatever it is. Right. So I think it's very important to be able to communicate with your child and to be able to say, hey, you know what? If you have a problem at school or whatever, if you feel like whatever the issue may be,
yeah,
come to me. I'm
come to
here.
me.
I'll
Yeah,
be here. Right.
yeah,
I'm here for you. Right.
yeah. That's what. Even though I'm trying to do that since he was little, but I'm still being too. I feel that I'm still being too hard on him by always expecting him to be the best because I
Yeah.
know he has the brain. He's a good kid, and then he's very smart kid.
hmm
But being kid is being kid, especially when they're teenager time is just like, I want to have fun and stuff like that. Yeah, I just can't accept that.
Yeah.
But after this big wake up call, I mean, like, no, especially now he's an adult. I
Yeah.
can't do that anymore. So, nah, nah. John, do the same mistake, and then he is not you are Asian, you have the culture, I mean, like Indonesian, you have the culture which is build you becoming you, but
hmm
he is half. This is a
Yeah.
mixed kid which is have the nature of two different culture, so I have to treat him differently, not
hmm
like I treat myself or my family which is on the same roots as me.
Right.
So I learned a lot from this, even though, yeah, um, at one side, I'm thankful for what the experience. It's hard,
hmm
but if probably if I'm not faced those kind of experience or situation, I won't be the
The
one.
strong woman that you
This,
are,
yeah.
right? So is there, if there's one thing, what kind of advice would you tell people who are going through something what you're going through, where they felt that they were growing up and to this day it was either their father, their mother, or maybe even both, that they felt that maybe my parents never loved me, or am I ever do like, something that you went through, that
Mm.
what kind of advice would you tell them?
Just believe in yourself, because the only person who can help you is yourself.
Yeah.
Just believe in yourself. I can do this. Just do it. Don't think of the negative things, because I have that. I don't want to say that I don't have that negative thinking that I better do this, then it will be end. No, just don't ever have a single thought about that. Just believe in yourself. Try as best as you can. I believe you can do it.
Yeah. Because
Just
even though your parents or your whoever that it may be is talking to you and telling you, making you feel that
feel
you
bad.
shouldn't
Yeah,
believe in yourself and you can't do this, you can't do that, and you got to be this, you got to be that. As long as you believe in yourself like you did, right? You told yourself that, hey, I can do this,
mm,
right? Even though they're telling me that I'm going to fail,
yeah,
right? And you showed it to them, and they believed you. And even though they did not praise you, even
yeah,
though it hurt you deep inside, you were still able to keep moving forward and continue believing yourself. Because as long as you have that belief system in you, you can get to very far and great places, like exactly what you went through, right?
yeah.
And also get married. Like your mom didn't ever believe that you were gonna ever get married or have kids, and
Yeah,
like here it is. I'm here. I have this family. I have a good job. Like a lot of things happened that you thought probably wouldn't have happened because of what your mother was telling you,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I never thought that I would get married after the broken
the first
engagement.
one,
Yeah,
yeah,
I never thought I would get married,
yeah,
because I said I better work, 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 work. I earn money,
yeah,
so as soon as I have money, I go on holiday here and there, here and there. Just make myself happy.
yeah. You know
It's
what? And when you were making yourself happy, you were able to open doors for these opportunities to come into your life because you were attracting
exactly,
positive things into your life,
yes,
right? So, that's why I love talking about how even though you may not know what's going to happen in the future, never create a bad future for yourself because
exactly.
you don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
always believe, I would say I always believe in brighter days because there are always going to be brighter days. There are going to be a mixture of both, right? You're going to have bad days, you're going to have good days.
yeah,
You're not going to have a perfect life. So,
yes,
enjoy the ride and just keep moving forward because one day, that one thing that you've been waiting for or whatever may be that's going to make you happy, it's there. So just keep on going, stay strong, and it'll happen. You know,
yeah.
yeah,
If you are a religious person, just believe in your God, because
yeah,
I'm a Muslim. I mean, like, I always believe that God will help me. God never
yeah,
fail me.
and never
That's
leave
it.
you.
They never leave you. They never fail me. If
Yeah,
they give you something, a difficult time right now, there's always a brighter day in front of you. It's just like you
hmm,
say, the storm will pass,
yeah.
and then
I was
it's
I was
it's.
watching I was watching some guy and he was talking about clouds,
Mm,
and I was like, oh, this is so interesting because he's like the dark chapters in your life and all the hard things that you go through are like the clouds because clouds they will just appear out of nowhere.
mm,
They will last for a certain period of time, but they never stay. They will
yeah,
always disappear, right? So you know, some storms will last longer than others, but eventually the storm will clear and the sky and you'll see the sun again and and hopefully you'll see that rainbow. So I was
yeah,
just like, wow, that's pretty cool. You can compare your life chapters as these
yeah,
clouds that will just appear in your life and then once they disappear, you will see the sun again, you know?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So this has been amazing. I hope I can get you on again because, like I said, I really wanted to continue my podcast by sharing other people's stories And so grateful that you were able to come here tonight to share your story. And I know it was a very difficult journey for you, but I'm so happy for you that you were able to go through and also fulfill your father's promise that you were going to take care
Yes.
of your mom all the way until she passed. And also
Yep.
you were able to, after everything that you went through, you were still able to be there at that moment and tell her that you still loved her, you forgave her, and that even though that relationship was just never there, you were
Mm.
still there for her no matter what.
No matter
Yeah,
what, she's my
yeah, and that's
mother.
yeah, exactly, and that's so powerful, and that's how powerful love is. It's incredible, your story. So thank you so much for sharing that with me, Neil.
Thank you for having me. I never thought that
Anytime.
I would talk to someone like this, and especially in a podcast. Oh my God.
No, this is your first podcast. And you know what? This is my second podcast, actually, and you're my
What
first
have
guest.
I
So
done?
yeah, right. Exactly. You just never know what's going to happen, right? So it's like,
Exactly, yeah.
and how long have you been following me for?
Oh, more than a year, I think.
More than a year now, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I just always remember you're always commenting, and then
yeah,
I was like, oh man, Nila's such an awesome person, and then we just started talking, and then you're just
yes.
like, hey, you know what? I want to share my story. I was like, okay, let's do this. You're right. I gotta call you. And you're like, what? You're gonna call me? And I was like, yeah, we're gonna do this, man. And then now it's like, we're doing a podcast. You shared your story, and like a few years ago, you probably like never thought you'd be on a podcast or you'd be able to share
No,
your story,
no.
and maybe even your story could even help others that are going through a very difficult time, just like you were, right?
Well,
So,
I hope.
you
Yeah,
know,
I hope. It's just like, as
oh,
I
was that a
said,
bird?
yes. Do not. I mean, like, treat your children differently. That's it. It's just like I know how it feels, and then
Yeah.
I certainly don't want any other child to have that kind of experience that I had. Honestly,
So this is
it
the moral of the story,
yes,
right?
it's really hard. It's really
Well, you turned out perfectly fine after all that.
oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. All right, Neela, I will catch you later. I talk to you every single day, so but thank you again for
Okay, thank you for
joining
having
me and
me.
sharing your story.
Thank
Pardon?
you for having me. I hope
You're
that
welcome
it
anytime.
helps.
And maybe I'll have you on again, and you can share me some more of your stories because I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. Right? All right, Dan.
Waiting for
Thank
that
you,
ice
everyone.
cream.
Hey, yeah, for sure. So again, I will catch you guys, everyone, on my next podcast, which hopefully will be soon. And remember, your mind matters, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Bye. You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.
Bye.